Wu on the boat coming home from Europe. We had struck up one of those fast friendships you make on board ship. And if I had known what I do now, I would have run like a scared rabbit. When we were docking in New York this morning, Mr. Wu had a heart attack. He'd have to be taken to the hospital and asked me to deliver a letter for him. I said, sure. And that's when I put my foot in it. But I still don't know what it is. As soon as I cleared the customs, I set out with the letter. The address was in New York's Chinatown. A 1,000 neon signs pasted over a people 10,000 years old. There are two kinds of businesses in Chinatown, chop suey and curios. The place I wanted turned out to be curios. I got my first taste of Far Eastern hospitality before I knew it. That one looked as though his face were set in concrete. Boy, I'd hate to meet him in a dark alley. I yelled for Mr. Chin, though. Mr. Chin was okay. He was so darn glad to get his letter that he dug out a present for me. A token of appreciation, he called it. It looked expensive. I didn't want to take it, but his feelings started to get hurt, so I let myself get talked into it. It was really a beauty. I had that smug feeling you get when you do a good turn and are properly appreciated and rewarded. All of a sudden, I got that sensation of someone following me, sort of a radar on the back of my neck. But I wasn't sure. So I decided to play a little game, just like in the detective stories. He was there, all right. I got real clever and figured out a way to see whether he was really following me. I could have been making a fool of myself, but I thought this way I could find out. And then I found out, the hard way. Sure enough, I got to meet Concrete Face in an alley, and for me, it was dark. I came out of it slowly. Concrete Face had a grip like a pipe wrench. But it was weird. Outside of my coat and the dagger in the pocket, he hadn't taken a thing. And then I remembered the tattoo, and I had a bright idea. The tattoo parlor wasn't very far from Chinatown. I told him I was thinking about a tattoo, and it was no lie at that. I was messed up enough to look a little drunk and like a good prospect, so he started to sell me. I told him it was to go on my arm, but what I had in mind wasn't on the wall. He bit and asked me to draw it. He was an artist, he said, and would copy anything. I was a sensation. Suddenly he didn't want any part of me. Even money didn't interest him, so I knew it was serious. So I got persuasive. It seems that tattoo is the symbol of a criminal tong, and anyone with the mark could get away with murder in Chinatown. Concrete Face was right on the ball. Fast on his feet, too, so the return match got postponed. And then I thought, he was one of Mr. Chin's customers. Mr. Chin would know who he was. Concrete Face didn't know it, but I had a date with him to change his expression permanently. I was sore by then, but Mr. Chin got me calmed down with some tea. When I told him what had happened, he was shocked and said that given a little time, he was sure he could correct the situation. I told him Concrete Face was dangerous, and why, and to be careful. He thanked me and said I should have taken my own advice. And then I could see why. I realized my head was pounding. He doped the tea, all right. I tried to get up, but I knew I'd never make it. And then it all went black. This time I woke up in comfort on a nice, soft, wooden floor. Someone had planted a whiskey bottle in my hand in case I might need a pick-me-up, and had shaken a little over my clothes to be sure I'd get the idea. I had the feeling of having been there before, and sure enough I had. But my host had talked himself out because this time he had nothing to say. Someone had figured out a real cute way to give me back my dagger. I didn't get it. Then I heard the clang of the police car, and I knew I was being framed for a murder. My tattooed playmates killed him because he had talked to me, and I was going to burn because of something they thought I knew. I remembered the dagger, the bottle. They had my fingerprints, but it was too late. I got my first break just when I needed it most. Ordinarily, she might have been whistle bait, but right now she was Santa Claus with a red hat, white whiskers, and bells on. I was licked. I had to admit it even in front of little Lotus Blossom. I was going to call my lawyer, and fast. Nobody could push his luck forever. Suddenly, she wasn't pretty anymore, and I was scared. Like you are with something crawling. Guess who? You're not supposed to hit a lady, but I didn't think she was one. No lady tries to cut you dead. Besides, she was holding her knife in the wrong hand, and Emily Post says that's just plain bad manners. One thing, I wasn't lonely anyway. We had a date, and this time it was my alley. Well, he wasn't made out of concrete after all. I figured I'd gotten away from everyone, cops, robbers, and all, when the trouble started. And once again, it all went black. So I still don't know what it's all about. And you tattooed delinquents could have saved yourself a murder.
Yes. I believe the death was quite unnecessary from anyone's point of view.
You're gonna knife me in the back? Or throw me to the cops for the killing?
But Mr. Ellis, you've already been thrown to the cops.
What?
Well, my name is Singh. I'm an agent of the Treasury Department. This gentleman is a representative of the city of New York.
But why all this?
Well, your frame-up was rather complete. And we had to find out just what happened from your point of view. But we were 30 minutes behind you all day. You see, we've taken them all into custody. And I want to thank you in 2 instances.
But what was in that letter?
Nothing. It was only a signal so the others would know whose coat to steal.
All right, I'll bite. Why did they steal my coat?
For $250,000 worth of heroin, Mr. Ellis. Mr. Wu's organization has existed on the profits of dope smuggling. He's used that trick before. He happens to be a skillful tailor. So on board ship, he sewed bags of heroin in the lining and padding of your coat. Then he played upon your sympathy a bit to get local delivery of the merchandise.
And I was his cat's paw, the innocent walking through customs.
I'm afraid we use you as our cat's paw too, Mr. Ellis. We knew what he was doing, but we had to catch them in the act. We got behind and couldn't protect you as we meant to. You've been a great help to us.
Oh, sure. Anytime. You need me anymore? I just remembered I had a big day.
Of course. You're free to go at any time, Mr. Ellis.
Thanks. I'll be seeing you, but not soon.
Oh, Mr. Ellis!